Welcome back to the Royal Chronicles, where we spill the royal truth hotter than English tea on a tabloid editor's desk and polish crowns that actually deserve to shine. Today we're talking about a royal who's not out here waving from a balcony or whispering to roses in the palace garden, but actually doing the work. And no, it's not Charles William or any of those relics still clinging to 1952 vibes and a crusty tiara. It's Prince Harry, our Duke of Doing the Most, and this week he reminded us what royalty should look like in 2025. While some royals are out here organising cocktail galas for the sake of photo ops, or worse, dodging public service like it's a mandatory family Zoom, Harry's out here donating real money to real people. The man is putting his wallet where his conscience is, and the headlines? Shockingly silent. I wonder why. Let's get into the heart of it. Prince Harry just donated a significant sum, quietly without a spotlight or a press junket, to HIMA, a grassroots charity in Nottingham that's out here feeding families, fighting racism and breaking down cultural barriers like it's their divine mission. Spoiler, it is. Based on Gamble Street, HIMA distributes over 1,300 food parcels a month, serves 1,200 hot meals, and even runs the Salam Shalom Kitchen, the UK's only joint Muslim and Jewish kitchen. That's not charity, that's community healing on a plate. And thanks to Harry's support, they're now delivering food to 650 families in crisis. 650. That's not a symbolic check, that's impact. Meanwhile, somewhere in a castle, William is probably busy planning his next Earthshot gala, where the only thing getting recycled is his PR strategy. But let's talk about the why, because Harry didn't just toss money and dip. He sent a heartfelt letter to HIMA. And let me tell you, it wasn't the usual royal well-wishes fluff. He wrote, "Nottingham holds a special place in my heart. The incredible work HIMA does to address food insecurity, poverty and social exclusion should be recognised and applauded. And the director of HIMA?" He cried, yes, tears, real ones. Because this man, Sajid Mohammed, said Harry's words showed genuine care. Not platitudes, not palace protocol. Real human compassion. Imagine that. A royal who makes people feel seen, not just surveyed. When was the last time Buckingham Palace made anyone cry from joy and not PR rage? And here's the kicker. This isn't even the first time. Back in 2020, Meghan's Sussex donated £10,000 to the same charity. Quietly, no sash, no forced grins, just real support. And when Sajid got that donation, he thought it was a hoax. That's how rare authentic royal engagement is. These two don't show up for optics, they show up for impact. They're not waving from balconies. They're wiring funds from Montecito. That's what working royals do. Meanwhile, shall we be shady for a second, because this is the Royal Chronicles, and if the crown fits, throw it. Let's take a peek across the pond. You've got William and Kate showing up to food banks in luxury cars, empty-handed, while the tabloids try to spin it as relatable. Relatable to who? The only thing they brought to that food bank was a camera crew and some confused facial expressions. Then there's Charles and Camilla, cosplaying environmental concern while hopping on private jets like they're uber-black regulars. Polyester suits made from recycled press clippings don't cancel out those carbon footprints, babes. Harry and Meghan, they're not pretending to care about people, they actually care. And that's why the press is losing its mind, because Meghan's mascara isn't a scandal, her impact is. And Harry's donation, it's a middle finger to every headline that said he was lazy, lost or disconnected. Let's talk double standards, because if William donated to a charity like HIMA, it would be front-page news. Royal saviour, modern monarchy, saint in a suit. But when Harry does it, crickets. The silence from the tabloids is louder than Charles during a family apology tour, but the receipts don't lie. Harry and Meghan have done more for social justice, food insecurity and inclusion in a single week than some royals have done in a lifetime of ribbon cutting. From Invictus Games to World Vision to this donation, these two are writing the handbook on what real public service looks like in a post-pandemic, post-Brexit, post-truth world. They're not trying to maintain the old system. They're building something better. And let's not forget the donation comes while Harry is still in a bitter security battle with the UK government. He doesn't even feel safe enough to live in his own country full-time, and yet he's still serving it. That's integrity. That's leadership. That's royalty without the robes. So maybe the question isn't, why did Harry leave the royal family? Maybe it's, how is the royal family still functioning without him? And Meghan? She's been preaching service since day one. From the UN to Africa to community fridges. Meghan Sussex has receipts that date back longer than Charles's reign. Her work isn't seasonal, it's foundational. She's not out here begging for relevance. She's defining what relevance even means. And if we're being honest, Harry didn't leave the firm. He graduated from it. He said, "Keep your crown, I'm taking my values with me." And now he's building his own legacy. One food parcel, one charity, one act of kindness at a time. That, my friends, is what real royalty looks like in 2025. Let's rewind for a second to the drama of 2021. You know, the year the monarchy went from institutional relic to full-on passive-aggressive in-laws. That was the moment when Meghan and Harry officially stepped back from royal duties, and in response, the palace issued one of the pettiest, most performatively polite statements in royal PR history. It read, "While all are saddened by their decision, the Duke and Duchess remain much loved members of the family. However, it is not possible to continue with the responsibilities and duties that come with a life of public service." Translation: we love them, but they can't sit with us anymore. And that, my dear glam fam, is when the Sussexes dropped a clapback so elegant it belongs in the Louvre. We can all live a life of service. Service is universal. Boom. One sentence, no press conference, no staged photos, no leaks to the Daily Mail, just truth, delivered with the precision of a mic drop on a red carpet. And fast forward to now, that quote has aged like fine Montecito wine and palace spin, like milk in the sun. Because here we are in 2025, and who's still out here doing the actual work? Prince Harry, donating quietly to feed hundreds of families in Nottingham. Meghan Sussex, still funding community kitchens, mentoring girls and championing causes from mental health to maternal care. And the royal family, well, they're out here performing empathy like it's an Olympic sport. One day it's Kate staring at canned goods in a food bank like she's discovered a rare species. The next, it's Charles planting a tree for the 943rd time, presumably to distract from something shady buried under the last one. Let's call it what it is. Service for the royal family is conditional. Conditional on titles, conditional on protocol, conditional on how marketable you are within the institution. They act like service only counts if it's done in pearls and under the shadow of a palace flag. But Harry and Meghan shattered that illusion. They showed us what real, unconditional service looks like. They're not doing it for headlines, they're not doing it for honours, they're doing it because it's right. And that's exactly why the monarchy freaked out. Because the Sussexes proved you don't need a crown to lead, you just need a conscience. Service is universal wasn't just a comeback, it was a manifesto, a mission statement, a warning. Because what they were really saying was, we don't need your approval to make an impact. You can keep the balcony, we'll take the people. And you know what? The people noticed. Because you can't fake authenticity. You can't PR your way into meaningful change. You can't edit out the silence between ribbon cuttings and photo ops. Meghan and Harry walked away from an institution that told them their value was tied to tradition and built something better from scratch. They proved that public service doesn't come from a title. It comes from truth. So while the royal family was busy revoking their patronages and trying to shade them with carefully worded statements, Meghan and Harry were already out here redefining what royalty could be. Compassionate, active, independent, unbought. They didn't break the rules, they rewrote them. And in 2025, that universal kind of service, the one that actually helps people, not just entertains photographers, is the only kind that matters. So the next time the press tries to paint Harry and Meghan as fame-hungry, remember this. They're not fighting to stay relevant in the system, they're proving they were always too big for it. And as that palace quote sits awkwardly in the archives, the Sussexes are out here doing what the firm said they couldn't do, living a life of service. Just without all the strings, protocols, and centuries of elitist nonsense attached. So, what do you think? Is this just another Harry moment? Or is this the proof we needed that the Sussexes are the real working royals? Because while the palace performs, Meghan and Harry deliver. And, personally, I'll take impact over pomp any day. Drop your favourite Harry and Meghan moment of real impact in the comments below. Let's celebrate what service really looks like. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe and smash that notification bell so you never miss a sip of royal truth. Over here, we ride for the ones making a difference, not just making headlines. Until next time, keep it shady, keep it glamorous, and always keep your crown polished, even if it's invisible.